Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to RC Racing TV's coverage here of the 1/8 scale Nitro On-Road European Championships here in Echlingen in Germany, presented by HB and D'Agostini Model Space. So we're here with the top heats from the first round of qualifying, and here's your lineup for the first of the two we're going to be covering. It'll be Francesco Teroni from Italy leading them off, ahead of Bruno Coelho in the number 2, Patrick Schaefer, one of the hometown drivers. There's many of them out there for this event. Mirko Salimi, and then Dominic Griener, another of the hometowners, and then Nicola Moroni, Adrian Bertin, Alberto Pico, Merlin Depta, and Andrea Pirani. So there's going to be quite the selection out here. These are the top 2 heats in the first round of qualifying, and just to take you through a little bit from how qualifying works, there will be 5 rounds of qualifying. We'll bring you the first 2 and the top heats from the first 2 today, and then there'll be 3 more rounds, and the top driver out of all of those heats, with 2 dropped scores, there's effectively 2 dropped scores you can have, so the best 3 will go forward, and the driver with the best 3 times will go automatically into the main finals. Then what will happen is we'll have a Super Pole session, which is one to absolutely must watch, where conversely to the regular qualifying sessions like the one you're about to see, where it's all about driving as many laps as you can in the allotted distance. So it's not just about being fast over 1 lap, it's about being as fast as you can across the session of the heat, which is 5 minutes. So in Super Pole, you get 2nd through 5th, I believe, or maybe more than that. The guys who just missed out on qualifying in, they will then have 3 more minutes to set their absolute best fastest time. That is a single lap shootout. They will take it down to the fastest 1 lap. So that is all or nothing. It's all on the line for that one. And the winner of Super Pole will also go through to the main final, and everyone else will be left to battle it out in the heats and lower finals and things like that, and the semi-finals and other areas like that. So I am Adam Johnson, talking you through the coverage here alongside our team here on what is a rather nice day out here in Echlingen in Germany, just near Stuttgart, or not far away from Stuttgart in Germany, and it's a very good track out here. It's a very interesting facility, as we have a nice shot of the tracks that goes round. We've got the driver stand, pictures of focus, pictures of concentration, every one of them, those drivers, and the heat hasn't even started yet, so they are in their warm-up and they are absolutely deadly focused from as soon as the klaxon sounds to start the race till the very end. So Frank, our cameraman, has just given us a pan of the circuit. It's a very technical circuit with a lot of speedy sections as well, and these nitromethane 1/8 scale cars can, well, they scream like 90s Formula 1 cars, and they go like them as well. They are absolutely mega quick. They are insanely fast. If you see one come down the pit lane there, that was Patrick Schaefer. So he comes through now, and look at this long back straightaway. Well, actually, we'll cut back to the pit lane for a start. There's the pit lane for you, which is going to be a big focus, especially in the finals, where there will be pit stops, mandatory pit stops. And these guys, we've already spoken to a few guys who have said that fuel is going to be very important this weekend. How much do you fuel your car up with that nitromethane fuel? Do you fuel it lean, which will run the car cooler, which will run the car, means it runs it hotter, but then it uses less fuel, so you underfuel the car, which means it will be lighter. Do you overfuel it, run it rich, which runs more fuel and helps cool the car more? And the ladder's going to be very important, because I think weather conditions are going to be very important out here. You can see there's a little bit of shadow on the main straight, but around the pit area there you can see there's a bit of shadow there, but most of the track is right out in the elements, right out in the conditions. So how these guys manage the temperatures on the track and in the air is probably going to be pivotal. The countdown is on to the start of this first qualifying heat, first qualifying top heat, and they're underway. They're away out of the pits and flying around this track. Expect to see lap times around the 13 to 14 second bracket from these guys. They are absolutely rocket fast. Blink and you'll miss these things. That is how fast we're talking. As we see the number 1 car, Teroni, come through now. That double apex left onto the back straight, and now into the HB hairpin. And then you come round a lot of twisty, tight kind of double apex corners, and then into hairpins. There's a hairpin there, and then down here into the EFRA hairpin. Good little shot there from our hairpin cam. And there's that long back straight where they will get up to the top speed possible as they come round And here is the start-finish straight here, right underneath the driver's stand and right underneath our cameraman Frank's position. I must say he's doing a fantastic job keeping up with these cars when they are absolutely so lightning quick. Coming through the final part of the lap. First lap times are going up on the board now, and Teroni with the early advantage, setting a best lap of 13.098. But remember, it's not about the absolute fastest lap. It is about how many laps you can do in the allotted time. So we've got a little bit of side-by-side action out there. The track is cluttered. Remember, they're not directly racing each other, but they are racing for a good track position, and they will not have anyone slow them down. So they would rather try and find a way through rather than dare slow down and compromise any of their laps, because that could come back to hit them near the end. They get slowed down now, that may mean they end up losing a lap or two of the potential laps they could do near the end of the race. So Teroni continues right now. He's down to a 13.006. That is unbelievable. He's thought most of the field here are forecast to do 23 laps, except for Nicola Morone in the number 6, who has not come out. That car is not showing on the timing screens, and I'm just going to have a look now. I can't see that car out on the track. I can certainly see the number 5 car of Dominic Greiner, the bright pink car. And at the moment, the car we are following is the number 1 car. That's still the one of Teroni. Now we're looking around the track, coming into the final corners now. A lot of cars, a lot of cars. Frank's going to have his work cut out trying to follow these cars. And at the moment, we are on Dominic Greiner, the number 5 car, the pink car. Hot pink, there's no missing that thing. It's very distinctive, like a little pink blur. And it comes through that double apex left and now down into the HB hairpin, which is banked as well. You don't see that. It's off camber. But it's cambered in, it's kind of banked in slightly. It's like the carousel at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And a lot of this track is not flat, it is slightly cambered. And in the driver intros yesterday, in the opening ceremony, if you will, they tried to park their cars on the back straight, if you will, and they tried to line them up, but they kept rolling down the track, which tells you that as they come on the straight now, it's cambered slightly to the left, to driver's left, and then it really banks over into that hairpin there. So Greiner coming through now to complete another lap. He is at last check 3rd overall in the standings with a 13.2 as his fastest lap. He's just improved to a 2.214. He's forecast to do 23 laps, and this is ever so close, I have to say. It is really, really on a knife edge. Bruno Coelho in the number 2 has taken the overall lead in this heat. Let's see if we can spot that car. Let's see if Frank can pick him up. His cars are an absolute blur. 2's just coming through down onto the back straight now, and coming up towards the HB hairpin. He's through the HB hairpin. Before I can even say that, there we go. Frank's got him. Nicely job. He's got missile lock on him. That's a very good job there. So Coelho is your current leader in this heat. As he comes round and through that car, that tricky double apex left onto the back straight. That is going to be all important. And to me, it's kind of the layout of this track reminds me of sort of a motorcycle track. It's kind of feels like a MotoGP track in a way. If this were a full-size track, you'd feel like it would be an ideal venue for MotoGP, but as it is a fantastic venue for 1/8 scale nitro on-road racing. As they're coming through now, Coelho still at the top of the standings for now. And watch as these cars, watch as the car behaves. It comes out to the HB hairpin at the end of the back straight. They're slipping around. We talked to a few guys on the pit walk who said that rear end stability was going to be absolutely pivotal. How you keep that car stuck down on the rear end and stop it moving. You see it swinging a little bit as it comes out of the EFRA hairpin on the start of the back straight. Absolutely pivotal to keep the back end of that car planted. Especially around here, they skid through. The rear end starts to skid and jump, and you get a bit of wheel hop going. So it's very tricky to keep the car down. People saying that you try to position the body, that large rear wing you see, it kind of sticks up like that, that large rear spoiler. You try and position that as far back as possible to get downforce on the rear and kind of offset the body as much as you can, offset the wheels as much as you can, try and get some weight down there, everything to keep the back end planted, because the more you plant that back end, the quicker you'll be able to get the power down out of the corners, and it's absolutely pivotal. I mean, we're down here, our commentary position is down here near the EFRA hairpin, and you can hear them as they get on the gas out there. You can hear how early they're getting on the gas out of there. So Coelho's leading. Merlin Depter is now showing a second in the number 9 car. We'll see how that is, whether it's just as he's come through on the timing screen. Let's have a look for the number 9 car, shall we? Let's see how he's doing. I can certainly see Dominic Greiner's car. That's the bright pink car coming through the EFRA hairpin now. We've got an off at the final corner, but he gets back going. So where's the number 9 car? There he is, the orange car heading up towards the HB hairpin now, and he's already there. So he's coming through. There he is, the bright orange car. Frank is really on his A game today with the camera work there. So Depter is showing in second overall at the moment. Everyone predicted to be for 23 laps. It is a matter of a fraction of seconds here. I mean, Depter has now fallen back a little bit. He's predicted to finish with 23 laps on a 5-minute 5.6. Remember, that's how long it takes overall. In fact, the heat is now coming to a conclusion. The heat has come to an end, and in the end it was Bruno Coelho who held on for the majority of that heat. Did a very good job. It shuffled around quite a bit in the late stages there, but Merlin Depter did finish second in that heat in the end, and third overall, as we'll show you the full rundown. Coelho wins that heat then, with Depter second, Dominic Greiner in third in the bright pink car, doing a very good job there. Alberto Pico in the number 8 came home fourth, so he's the first of 3 Italians, with Andrea Pirani and Francesco Teroni, who also led the standings. I mean, Teroni was as high as first and then second at certain points in there, but that's how close qualifying was, split by literally nothing at times there. And Adrian Bertin, Nico Salemi, Patrick Schaefer and Nicola Marone, who did not get out to make some laps, complete that heat. So we go on to the second of our first round of top heat qualifying. And we'll have a look at the starting grid for that as they warm up. They get a little bit of time to warm up, get the engines running, get them going, and get everything running smoothly before we get going. So, the lineup for this one. Dario Balestra, another of the Italians, will roll off on the pole ahead of Robert Peach, if you will. We spoke to him earlier on the pit walk. Lars Hoppe and Simon Kurzbuch behind them, along with Maximilian Vogel, Timo Leino, John Ehrman, Silvio Hachler, Gilles Groskamp, and there's a guy we definitely did speak to, Gilles Groskamp, and Oliver Mack complete the top 10 for this one. Now this is the top end of qualifying. These are the guys, you won't see anyone faster for this first round of qualifying as they head out on their warm-up laps. They've got a few minutes of warm-up. As I say, we did speak to a few in there. We did speak to Gilles quite extensively in the pit walk, and we said, well, he was the one who made the biggest claim about rear end stability and getting the body over the back of the car to keep the car planted, but he also said something very interesting. He said he favours the warm conditions out here. He really wants this thing to get warmer and warmer as the days go on, so he doesn't mind the sun being out at the moment. He has no problem with that whatsoever. Presumably his competitors will be hoping for the opposite, but he is one of these guys. I mean, some have been really struggling. Kyle Branson, one of the British drivers, has been struggling with setup, struggling with a bit of stability, and whereas guys like him have not quite adjusted to the track yet. Gilles Groskamp has definitely adjusted straight away to this car and to this track as well, and to the conditions. So we watch these guys on the warm-up, going down the back straight into the HB hairpin, banked around and then twists into another hairpin there. Very much like the circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia. That's where I'm getting the MotoGP comparison from, with these kind of slightly cambered in corners on the straights and a lot of these hairpins. It's a very technical circuit, it's a very challenging circuit. Now, for now, you won't need to worry too much about overtaking, except if someone's holding up your fast laps. But what'll be interesting is in the race, we had someone flip briefly on the entrance to pit lane. There's a few more, they're coming in just to fettle around with the car, make sure they're running all right. Some of them may have discovered a few issues in the warm-up as they return to the track. The number 6 of Timo Leino is one of those that's come through, as well as the number 7 of John Ehrman. There were 2 who were just in the pit lane, quite a few also coming in, checking how they're running, probably checking levels of fuel in the car as well. One thing you don't want to do in these 5-minute heats is run out, but you also don't want to overfuel the car. That's more fuel to be carrying, and that means your car won't be as quick, but it will. That's the difficult balance you've got to strike, and we saw a few guys in the practice runs have issues with that. They did not make the 5 minutes because they underfueled the cars, but had to run them richer to make sure they kept cool and didn't overheat. So it's a difficult balance to strike, and it's one that these guys are going to be right on the knife edge of. It's the guys who are going to get the best, hit that balance the best in these qualifying sessions, that are going to end up going through to the main final, or maybe being in contention in those Super Bowl sessions that are coming up tomorrow. And also, I want to draw your attention to, there's a very distinctive tyre line across the track. Frank's just scanning the track for us there. You can see there's an incredibly distinctive tyre line, and the racing line is very rubbered in. Now, I had a look at the track last night. It had some sun beaten down on it, and it's going to have had even more today. It's very rubbered in. On that groove, there's all the grip in the world. It will grip like a Scalextric car on that line. Very rubbered in, very grippy, very sticky where it's in the warm conditions. Offline on the paler sections there, as you can see, if you get out there, the grip just falls off a cliff. There isn't really much there. There's still some, a little bit, if you know where to work, but generally you want to stick in that groove there to get the best grip out of it, which makes things even more difficult when you've got a guy potentially slowing you down in one of the qualifying sessions. That's when things get a little bit difficult. So the guys are returning to the pit lane now, ready for the start of Group 10 in the first round of qualifying in the top heats here in the 8 scale Nitro European Championships On-Road European Championships in association with EFRA, HB and D'Agostini Model Space, helping us present our coverage here to you on RC Racing TV. And the countdown is on. Here we go. Stand by your beds, this is going to be intense. First round, you've got to set off on the right foot. There we go, there's the klaxon. You see in the lane, they're out and they are underway. You want to time, obviously you want to make sure there's enough of a gap between the two of you to make sure that the guy in front doesn't slow you down, but you obviously don't want to lose time yourself. So straight away Frank has picked up Dario Balestra, the guy who we'll be watching for, the #1 ranked car coming through here. And he'll be doing his first few laps now. He sets the first time on the board, 13.111. We saw quicker in the last heat. But at the moment it's good enough to be quickest here, just about. Silvio Hackler jumps up early on. He's in the #8 car. But it takes a few laps for these cars to shake out and to really kind of get an idea on who's the fastest consistently around here, because as I say in these qualifying sessions, consistency is all important. It is not just about banging in one fast lap, it's about banging in consistently fast laps. Although if Dario Balestra can keep nailing laps like that at 12.958, then he's going to be a lock to get through to the finals and qualify there. So already that car showing some great pace. It comes down here through the EFRA hairpin, and then up through the double apex left, up to the HB hairpin at the other end of the longs back straight. That back straight I think is going to be absolutely pivotal. You're going to see guys going for the overtakes at the EFRA hairpin, set them up maybe going for the double apex left. Coming up here, there's the EFRA hairpin, there's the double apex left, and up here is the HB hairpin. How much do you brake? I think you're going to see a lot of dive bombs up there. It's going to be dive bomb central up there once the races get underway. Frank doing an excellent job tracking Mr. Balestra as he goes around. He continues to lead in early qualifying now. He's predicted to do a 24 lap run, which would be unheard of so far. Everyone in the last heat did 23 lappers. If he does a 24 lapper, that really will be a statement of intent. That'll be huge. Robert Peach is in second place at the moment in the #2 car. Let's see if we can find that car now as it goes round. They're little white blurs of noise and spectacle, these little these 1/8 scale nitro cars. He's just coming through the EFRA hairpin now, beyond to the back straight and into the HB hairpin now. There he is. Still showing in second, just ahead of Jiles Groschkamp. So the guys we were speaking to in the lane, very informative, very happy to talk. Some of these guys running experimental parts on their car, running test parts. They are willing to do anything. They're willing to use whatever means necessary to get to the front here. And if that means going for parts that they maybe haven't tested before, so be it. They think it'll give them an advantage because every 10th is crucial. I'm looking at the timing screen here and it is absolutely, there's nothing in it. There's absolutely nothing in it, except for Balestra still predicted to do a 24 lapper here. But behind them, it is a matter of seconds. It's a matter of tenths of seconds. So there's really nothing in it, and it is all about consistency and concentration in these races. He's come through again, and third place is changing quite a few times here. Simon Kurzbuch is in that position right now in the #4. There's Kurzbuch's car as he comes through. As I say, a lot of cars just a blur. Here's Kurzbuch's car coming down to the EFRA hairpin now, and it'll be up onto the back straight now, up towards the HB hairpin. I think that's still Peach's car. Yes, it is. They're coming around. Now that's the #3 of Lars Hoppe that we're following. Lars Hoppe is currently showing in 5th place. Now 6th. There we go. He's managed to pick up the #4 car of Simon Kurzbuch, who is now showing 2nd on our timing screen. So he's advancing. Jiles Groschkamp now advances himself, and Peach is up there and is battling away with Balestra. Balestra, I think, has lost some time here. Now, where's the #1 car? Because he's certainly not predicted to do a 24 lapper now, and he's dropping down. I think Balestra is not out there anymore. I think he's pulled in. I think something has happened to the Balestra car. He's now showing 5th, so the car is still out there. But I wonder what happened there. Something must have happened. Now he's showing down in 10th. This is unprecedented. Here comes Balestra's car now as it comes through the EFRA hairpin and up onto the back straight. So that's where Balestra is. So Balestra's still out there. But certainly something major must have happened to have gone from a 24 lapper by a distance to now alternating between the bottom end and the bottom half of the top 10. He's now showing 5th a lot of these positions are changing consistently, but the one guy who is a consistent right now, as we're into the final minute of this heat, is Robert Piech. And just as I say that, Balestra back to the standings. It's between Balestra, Groschkamp, Kruisbroek and Piech, who might well get this position here, might well get this one here, as Oliver Mack just jumps up in the number 10 car. It'll be the number 0 car. So we're still following here on our streams. We're still following Simon Kruisbroek, who is showing as the winner of this heat. Well, was until Julius Groschkamp comes in. It is literally a game of musical chairs. We've got 20 seconds to go. Who is going to be the leader when the music stops? We're not quite sure. There's a car pulling off to the side on the main straight, though. Who is that? Hard to tell. That would be... Was that the number 2? It might well have been the number 2. Another car also coming across as well. That would have been Piech, who's been pulled in. That'll be a major blow. Coming down into the final seconds now. Who is going to get this one? I cannot predict this one by a second. And we've got another car slow on the main straight. That's the number 9 of Groschkamp. So Julius Groschkamp slows on the main straight, but I wonder if that's because he knew that qualifying had just finished as he did that. And I think he's going to be very happy about the result as well, because he takes it out. He takes it out in some style in what was a frenzied qualifying session. For the longest time, it looked like Dario Balestra, showing 4th in the end there, would be the man to take it out. He was predicted to do 24 laps, something we hadn't seen so far today. But he comes home 4th in the end. Simon Kruisbroek comes out 2nd, behind Groschkamp. Oliver Mack 3rd, a very good run there. Dario Balestra 4th, Lars Hoppe 5th, Silvio Hackler 6th, John Ehrman in 7th, then Timo Leino and Robert Piech down in 9th in the end. That was a big blow to his chances near the end there. Maximilian Vogel then in 10th place, and that completes the lineup. That completes qualifying round 1 here in the 8th scale Nitro On-Road European Championships. Our coverage presented by HB, D'Agostini Model Space and EFRA. We'll see you for qualifying 2.